In this video, we are going to be going over Arsenal's tactics on set pieces, specifically corner kicks. Now, there are a few main things that really do need to focus on for this because not every team is going to be able to do this. Now, one of the key factors is having a perfect set piece taker. So Saka is a guy that can do that for Arsenal. Now, other teams obviously have players that can do this, but Saka with his left foot is able to swing a pretty much perfect ball into the box wherever he wants it. So whether he's going near, middle, far, or even again hitting up top to one of these players, he has the capability of making that option. Now on the other side, depending who is fully fit, this could be Martinelli or this could be Declan Rice. It really depends on who is on the pitch for that match. But again, if Saka is fit, he's the guy that's going to be taking most of their set pieces. So that is the first key factor. The next one is actually looking at all the players that Arsenal actually have. Now, granted, yes, they are fortunate that they do have a lot of taller players on their squad. I'm not sure if that was what Mikel Arteta was first going for some of these signings, but this is a key factor when it comes to this because you're dealing with Kai Havertz, you're dealing with Ben White, you're dealing with Saliba, you're dealing with Gabriel, you're dealing with Declan Rice if he is playing, or Mourinho up at the top of the 18-yard box. So again, there are a few different players that can be key factors into this. Now, what we've been seeing from Arsenal in these last couple of matches is typically they will bunch about 4 guys on the back post or almost back behind the goalkeeper. Now, the reason why they do this is because they are trying to create multiple space or large gap inside this area, inside the 18-yard box. There's multiple reasons why they're doing it because first off, this gives plenty of room for players to run into areas wherever they want to run, which again makes it very difficult for teams to defend. But on top of that, they are also able then to orchestrate certain ways how they're going to move. So whether they're all moving near post, they're all sitting back, or they can make a wall around the goalkeeper. And then we've seen this before, almost known as the dark arts by a lot of fans. But what they're really doing is stopping the goalkeeper from really going anywhere. They are not following him, but they're not allowing him to really move anywhere else, kind of keeping him rooted on his line. And when that happens, some of these other players can actually make these runs. And again, Saka can play those balls to these guys who are going to run near post, far post, and typically they're going to have a one-on-one chance with the defender, and more likely not, Gabriel is going to win those headers. He's had multiple free headers. We've seen it time and time again this season. I believe he scored 1 or 2 already this season. He's also done in the past seasons. So this is something that Arsenal have been working on. Now let's back it up just a little bit here. Now, also what we want to look at is actually where some of these other players are set. So again, we have 4 players here. So again, if these 4 players do move forward here, you could see 2 players running forward. And again, that could be the case. 2 guys can sit actually farther back. And what can happen here too is that Saka can actually play a ball shorter here, can get flicked onto the back post, get flicked back here where Gabriel again is once again, or they can actually shoot towards goal. That's the first option. If again they do play it long after these guys have made that run, again you're causing chaos in this box, they can then head the ball back into the other opposite side. So again, whether the Saliba, Gabriel, Mourinho, Declan Rice, whoever is playing there, they are typically not looking sometimes to score off the first touch of the cross. They are looking to almost ping the ball back and forth to players. And again, why this is happening is because as players are watching the ball go one direction, Arsenal is already one step ahead of the defense, and they are looking to crash those areas where the ball is most likely going to go when they head the ball. Now, on top of that, the other thing we do want to look at here is exactly what we saw just before earlier on. So again, if we have all these 4 players set up here, these 4 players can actually sit in this area as well. So think about these 4 players are typically occupying the back post or close to it. So they're typically going to have 4 players next to them. So that takes out quite a few players in this area. So now what can happen is that Gabriel, again, we're talking about him. He is one of the main target guys when it comes to their set pieces. He now has a one-on-one opportunity, whoever is defending him. Now, granted, if you have a very good defender, this makes it very difficult for him to get free, but sometimes he is able to get around this player and have a free header. So same thing, if they are staying all back post, typically what Saka is going to be doing then is playing the ball a little bit shorter here, where then again, Gabriel can run onto that and hopefully have a free header to score in this opportunity. And the last thing we do want to look at, though, too, is how the other players are situated outside the A team, not just Gabriel. So again, we have Martinelli who sits out here, we have Trossard who sits here, and Timber who sits a little farther back. Now, why this is really important is because Timber is able to cover most of this distance with his pace. Now, this can be one of the other defenders, but typically it's Ben Timber if he is on the pitch with his pace, but also Ray kind of moves up as well. Now, the reason why this is important because if the ball ever does get swung in, get kicked out, Typically, Timber can win that ball and play it back to Rhea, who then can play a long ball back to Saka or Trossard, who's out on that side, and they can cycle that ball right back into this area and again swing the ball back in. If you have not noticed this before, typically when Arsenal lose the ball or again it gets cleared out from the 18-yard box, these guys are looking to play to Rhea, who can again play that ball all the way out to Saka, and if Saka has a capability, he's able to cross that ball. But Gabriel, you'll see, and even Saliba will actually sometimes stay up front for quite some time, and all these other players will drop back minus Kai Havertz, and they'll almost have these three guys sitting here for an extra minute or so if they are able to keep this ball, because like I said before, these three guys are very good aerial wise and winning duels, and if they can win it inside the box, they can usually lead to a goal. And the fact is that they do have this almost cycling option that they can play it out. Now if they don't see anything they do like, granted Saka can dribble back, cycle it back to where they want to, and as they're doing that, everyone then can drop back into their normal position. So again, we see almost this all happening where again everyone is kind of going back to where they should be. Rhea obviously dropping back, and we see their formation. And when this does happen again, they then are able to almost then play their own possession, again, ping the ball where they want to, and hopefully find options to, again, break down the opponents and lead to goal a different way. It is quite surprising with how important it comes to set pieces. Obviously, Arsenal are ahead of the curve on this as of right now. This is probably something that more teams will start seeing more and more and try to do similar things. I think this is a very good way for teams to actually score goals, because when you are running a certain way of running a set piece, especially on a corner kick, and Arsenal do get a handful during their matches, it is an easier or quicker way to score a goal than trying to break down the defense, because on a corner kick, there is a lot more happening. Again, if you're able to have a player that can play the ball perfectly into the box, that is going to have a huge impact. And again, you do need some players that are actually good in the air, because if you don't, then obviously this makes it a lot more difficult. But like I said, Arsenal do have multiple players, so again, they don't just win the first aerial duel, they'll sometimes flick it onto the back post, onto the front post, back to some other player who again will have a free opportunity to smash it into the back of the net. That is what I have in this video today on tactics. I do hope you enjoyed. This was on Arsenal, their set pieces. I do want to know what you think on their set pieces. Do you think this is quite a bit of a master class, or do you think right now it's just more chaotic for Arsenal and they really aren't converting as much as they should be on their corner kicks? I do want to know, so comment down below. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in our next video.